my word, we'll head for the third boss of World 5. After we head to the Nexus, of course.
Thou seekest the soul of the mind, key to life's ether. Soul of the lost, withdrawn from it. Art thou done?
Let's see if the eroded soul can give us a new spell.
Bravo! Thank you for offering your demon souls. I cannot express my gratitude to have my wish granted at so late an age. Thank you. You are a fine magician. As promised, let me teach you new magic. We were wrong to assume that only demons could do demon work. I am fully prepared. Please fetch more demon souls. I can still be patient.
Acid Cloud is once again one of those PvP-only kind of spells. I'm not sure if it's possible to erode the durability of NPC armor, but I am sure that I probably wouldn't have the patience for it when I could just as well cast Homing Soul Arrow and then walk up to them. The Archstone of the Demon Dirty Colossus. In a swamp infested by poisonous and vile creatures lies a filth-encrusted valley. The poor journey to this rotten place to offer their souls so that they may be freed from their suffering. It's not much of a walk to the boss arena, but it can be lengthy if, for whatever reason, you decide to use the ladders. Let's see what lies beyond.
Go forth, Garl Vinland. May you be unharmed. Leave us, Slayer of Demons. This is a sanctuary for the lost and wretched. There is nothing here for you to pillage or plunder. Please, leave quietly.
The Maiden Astraea boss fight is, in my view, the most memorable fight in Demon Souls, right up there with Tower Knight, Storm King, and a boss that we haven't encountered yet, punctuated by boss music that's a huge deviation from the norm with its repetitive, memorable melody. It always reminded me of something out of an earlier Castlevania game. I just completely ruined the pace and atmosphere of the fight by falling down to the swamp below. It gives us the opportunity to pick up pure Marrowstone and meet the Plague Babies. They encircle you and trap you while the water itself gives you the plague ailment. It isn't fun. Once we get back there, I'm going to do my best not to fall through that tiny crack. Garl Vinland stands as a tower. He doesn't come straight for us. He doesn't even try to hurt us at all if we maintain a safe distance. He simply stands at the head of the path leading to Maiden Astraea with his shield raised. That shield is the dark silver shield, and it's highly magic resistant, which would mean bad news for us if we couldn't get him to lower it. Luckily, we can. Garl doesn't like his personal space to be invaded, and once you enter the bubble, he gets a little more offensive, swinging his gigantic hammer in your general direction. He still doesn't move, but it leaves him wide open for an attack, or two, or three. If Garl inadvertently moves himself from his original spot, getting back to it seems to take priority over anything else, which gives us even more of a window to slash at him. There's plenty that could be said to put this fight in a negative light that I don't necessarily disagree with. A friend of mine who played Demon Souls last in the series recently streamed his experience with this fight, and he didn't have very many nice things to say. His main gripes were with the repetition in fighting Garl, saying that it was boring at best and unfair at worst. I've given that opinion some thought, and I think that my enjoyment of the fight mostly comes out of how unique the experience was for me at the time. All those years ago in my first playthrough, I hadn't really experienced anything like this fight in a video game before, and it kind of had this surreal effect on me that I still remember very clearly, and I think that was enough to push the experience more into the positive side of things. When defeated, Garl drops his shield and his armor set and inadvertently opens the way to Maiden Astraea.
You killed him, didn't you? Very well. I can no longer resist you. Do as you like. Take your precious demon soul.
I think the key factor that makes this fight memorable is that defeating Maiden Astraea and finishing World 5 doesn't really make you feel all that great. It's the kind of thing that can make the player question their stance and what exactly stands as good and evil in the game's story, especially so if they'd heard the other NPCs talking about Maiden Astraea before the battle. Another contributor to this is the fact that the player is robbed of the satisfaction of defeating the demon themselves, with Astraea taking her own life instead, knowing that she can't defeat your character. The Archstone gave us her pure blood soul and the Ring of Sincere Prayer, which increases miracle power and vulnerability time. It's said to have once been found by a young 6th Saint Astraea as one of the revelations from God, which is also what the large Moonlight Sword is. wish boss souls had more lore tidbits.
Oh, do you have Old Frake and the Candle Maiden? Yes, I said, but you must. Oh, thank God, I'm better.
Considering that the Miracle NPC spoke the most about Maiden Astraea, I was hoping that they would have more to say about her death, but I guess word hasn't gotten back to the Nexus yet.
Bravo! Thank you. I am one step closer to the essence of the demon soul. Our human potential is great. As you know, the Scourge of Boletaria has activated all souls and energized all magic. Perhaps then we should work to preserve this state of heightened reality. No, heaven forbid. The demons steal souls, and with them our sanity. Such blasphemy must not be permitted. The demons steal souls, and with them our sanity. Such I am fully prepared. I can still be...
Better than having you bothered. He is on the verge of discovering something that will rival even the demon souls. I see.
With 40,000 souls, hopefully we can level up at least a few times. After that, we'll get back to our usual soul form.
Soul of the mind, key to life's ether. Art thou done?
But perhaps...
Oh, there's our bloodstain. I forgot that we went up the other way. The only thing left before going back to World 1 are the White World tendency events of World 5. Archstone of the Demon Astraea. Once a 6th saint, Astraea lived with those awaiting death in the Valley of Defilement. She pledged herself to a demon soul rather than a cruel god to erase the pain of the people there. For the first event, we'll be going to the very first Archstone, but it really makes you wonder, given the status of World 5, what good Maiden Astraea's choice really did for the people there. I guess she just gave them hope, and that was more than anything they might have had previously. I'm gonna try to be as speedy as I can going through this first area of the Valley of Defilement again. rather the place where it serves as a shortcut to. A ladder will have appeared thanks to our pure white world tendency. That was a lot of damage, but we made it. Our reward for returning here is a little bit deeper in, which is kind of interesting. It's nice that the game gives you a substantial reward as well as a new area to explore, even if it's not the longest section and only has enemies we've already encountered before. And here is our reward. In the middle of this room, guarded by 3 giant depraved ones. They're pretty kind about aggroing one at a time, so I'm thinking this will go pretty smoothly. Istarelle is a short spear of hard oak. It is covered with engravings and is one of the few revelations from God. It once belonged to Holy Knight Liziah. Its holiness increases the wielder's resistance to plague and poison. This is a faith-scaling weapon and a revelation from God, exactly like the large sword of Moonlight and the Ring of Sincere Prayer. Coincidentally, all of these items are found in World 5. That's our first event, but we still have a few more to go through, which we'll tackle in the next video.